everybody, I'm Lorella. I'm not a farm girl on a homestead adventure. And today we're back in the garden. Okay guys, bug, disease, or bird, only attacking the ripe fruit. So this one I'm assuming is worm. The whole. What do you think, guys? Again, only in the ripe one. I found a few ripe tomatoes that nothing had gotten a hold of yet. And I've got a big pile of tomato branches here. And over there I've got some squash and, what else? Squash and tomato and flower branches. While I'm back here, let's take a look at our zucchini. So you can see the ground here is so moist and soft, and not just because of the rain, but look at this. So here's where the original squash vine was planted, right there. And if we follow it around, it's got some issues, but then you get over here and it's got fresh new vines. And I see that with every single one of my squash and zucchini plants. Look at how healthy that looks. It's not anywhere near where I planted it, but it's doing well. And then let me find, some of them are looking kind of sad though, like that. I probably need to trim off those bad leaves. Okay, so here's a zucchini. And if you look down in there, see if I can get the camera to focus on the right spot, it's still producing zucchinis. So there's one right there. And that flower, or this plant, actually has several on it. So I'm hopeful. That one started way over here. There's the big stump right here. And this zucchini plant is just now growing in the aisle, the walkway, but it also has zucchinis on it. So I'm hopeful that my zucchini harvest is not yet over. Wait, oh my goodness, how does this happen? I check these guys every single day, but look what I just found. A nice little zucchini. I'm just trying to decide if I should leave it one more day. It's still a little bit small. I think I'll leave it one more day and come back tomorrow. I went back in here where I have tomato, cucumber, squash, and beans kind of all overlapping. Pruned back a little bit, and I found one nice sized cucumber that I'm going to take inside today. Okay guys, so I was trimming back this tomato, which was growing out and taking root, and I actually cut it back. And look what I found right behind it. Cucumber, cucumber, cucumber. Nice big size ones too. And how many times have I checked this path? How many times? I tell you, they're like expert at hiding. You know, we've been having a drought here in Missouri this year, but things are looking green, aren't they? Well, we had some rain, but before we had rain, we were kind of trying to figure out what to do with these horses and calves to keep them on grass. We didn't put them out to pasture because we're wanting to mow the pasture and get hay. I guess that's harvest, same thing. And so we were trying to feed them on grass in our rotational system, and Chris came up with kind of a unique idea. So let's take a look at what Chris suggested that we do, permaculture principles at work here on the homestead.
So Missouri's going through a drought right now, and the price of hay is going up through the roof. I mean, crazy prices from what I'm seeing on online websites and Facebook and other social media. One of the problems with having this drought is not only the price of hay going up, but the simple fact that the grass isn't growing to make more hay. And so even with our rotational grazing system in place, we're not getting enough water to keep the grass growing sufficiently to feed our herd. Use that term loosely. But what we decided to do was to put permaculture principles into practice. And we took function stacking to the next level. What we decided to do was to stop mowing our yard and to set up a hotline around it. Even though it's not really hot, the cattle and the horses are accustomed to it, and we're gonna risk it. But we're using them to mow the grass. So I don't have to mow the grass, and the cows and horses are getting fed. Permaculture principle, function stacking.
Well, I think our cucumbers are just about done for this season, but something amazing happened. Sometime in the last week or so, my bell peppers grew, they put out buds, and now there's little tiny baby bell peppers. Yay! So that's pretty exciting, although a bird did get to one of them. And then, if you'll take a look with me, down in between the bell peppers, see if you can see what I see hiding back there. It looks like I'm going to have a great harvest of the Greek red squash. They're going to look similar to a butternut squash when they're all done. They're going to have like that tan kind of outside flesh with the bell shape at the bottom. Big like that. Got bunches of them growing in the garden. They're doing excellent. They're the one thing the squash bugs have not really decimated, so that's really good. They're still green, so they're not ready to harvest yet. The difference between them and a butternut squash, according to what I've read, is that these are going to have the flesh is going to be more red in color, and they have a little bit sweeter taste. So I'm excited to try them out. It's the first time I've grown them. They've done really well. If I like them as much as I think I will, I'll probably save seeds from those. We've also harvested tons of watermelons. And in my next video, I'm gonna harvest the Desert King watermelon. We were given the plant from the Awesome Homestead. And then I planted, I think they're called Cypriot watermelon from Baker Creek. And I have a ton of those. I just got one Desert King. So I'm gonna slice both of them open, do a comparison, show you what they look like, talk about how they grew, that kind of stuff, and see which one is better. That's coming out in the next video. I don't know if you remember that I trellised the tomatoes. I put 4 T-posts up at the corner of the tomato beds, and then I used a bunch of twine like all around to let it grow up, vine up in there. But apparently the twine that I used wasn't strong enough, because in the last big storm the twine snapped, and so my slicing tomatoes and my grape tomatoes all just fell. So I need to work at getting those up, putting better twine. I think had I single stemmed them, had I done trimmed the suckers off, you know, and really kept them trimmed, it might have been okay, but I don't know. But they were just pretty heavy. But I've still been getting a good harvest off of all of those, even just kind of letting them grow wild like that. I also have been getting a lot of pumpkins. I harvested about 20 pumpkins, and then everything I saw said to leave them out for a week or two and let them kind of harden off in the garden, and then you bring them in the house to store them. Well, in that time, about 5 of them, the tops got really, or parts of the flesh, not the stem, but parts of the flesh skin. What do you call that? What do you call that outer part of a squash or a pumpkin? You've got the flesh on the inside and the seeds, and then what's the thing? Shell? Is it a pumpkin shell? Peter Piper. No, that's peck to pickle. What's there? He kept her very well. Kept her in a pumpkin shell. I guess it's a shell. How's that little nursery rhyme go? Now that's gonna drive me nuts. If I think of it, I'll come back and say it at the end. So the shell part of the pumpkin got soft and mushy, and so those I just tossed over to the chickens and let them have at them. They love it. They don't love it as much as they love the watermelon rinds. We toss out watermelon rinds and they eat it down to like the thin green paper. That's all that's left, is just the very, very skin edge of that. We've had some pretty good storms come through, lightning, thunder. We got pea-sized hail like just a week ago. It's August. We got pea-sized hail. How crazy is that? But we've gotten plenty of rain now. We're hoping to get a 3rd cutting out of this field. The guys who mow it, they split it with us. They called and they said they were going to try to come yesterday, but we got rain, so they didn't make it yesterday. So hopefully soon they'll get out here and get it mowed for us. But anyway, I did get some footage of the rain in the garden because it's just so nice. So I'm going to throw that in here and there because I like it, and it is lovely. That's a perfect description for it. Mama Guinea is sitting right here behind me in these bushes on her eggs. And I would try and put some shelter over her, but she doesn't want shelter. The last time I did that, she got off the nest and never got back on it. So I'm just gonna let her sit out in the rain. I feel bad, but I don't know what else to do because that's where she wants to nest, is in the garden. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. See you next time the rooster crows.